The August 21st, 2023 meeting of the Agenda Charter will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Barnhart? Ms. Barnhart is present. Mr. Brew? Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Long? Mr. Long is present. Chairman McCabe?
Present.
Chairman McCabe is present, and Ms. Taylor?
Present.
Taylor is present.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the June 29th, 2023 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk?
Referral 23-0272. Enact a local law amending chapter 384 entitled Pawnbrokers, Secondhand Dealers, and Jewelry and Coin Exchange Dealers.
Moved by legislator Majority Leader Brew, seconded by legislator Barnhart. Is there any discussion? Majority Leader Brew?
I'm personally very supportive of this law, but for those of us who may not be familiar with the contents of the law, could you take a minute and explain to us the specific contents of the law and how you feel it's going to succeed in reducing rising thefts?
Through the chair, this local law attempts to address issues identified by law enforcement in the enforcement of this code. The statute was originally passed in 2014. And since that time, the enforcement by the sheriff's office has identified a few areas that they would like to see tightened up to address crime. The first is to allow the suspension and the reinstatement of a license with conditions that can help address issues that they've identified at particular licensees to that they would like to be able to suspend a license, allow a business to come back into compliance, and then reinstate their license. A second is to prohibit the sale of new items at a pawnbroker or secondhand dealer. They have identified issues of increased theft and sale of new items at secondhand dealers and pawnbrokers. This amendment to the local law, which would limit the sale of new items to no more than 3 items of new items by an individual. An additional add is to affix tags on items that are offered for sale so that law enforcement can more easily identify the items with the electronic recording system already required under the 2014 Act. And the last item in Section 8 of the local law requested by the sheriff's office is to increase their ability to enforce not just against the clerks who are working at pawnbroker and secondhand dealer shops, but as well as to go out after the individuals actually holding the license. And that's reflected in Section 8 of the local law.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-up question to the chair of the administration. So how would the county go about enforcing the new regulations that we're looking at tonight?
Through the chair, this local law is enforced through law enforcement, except in areas where a jurisdiction has its own local law licensing pawnbrokers and secondhand dealers. That is to say, both the city of Rochester, the town of Greece, and the town of Arundecoit have passed similar legislation requiring licensing from those jurisdictions. Within the city, the town of Greece, and the town of Arundecoit, licensing would continue to be run through the law enforcement personnel within those jurisdictions. Outside those jurisdictions, this local law is both licensed and enforced by the sheriff's office.
Okay, thank you. And another follow-up question through the chair of the administration. So the citations, if there was a dealer found to be in non-compliance, the citation would be issued by the county through law enforcement. Is that correct?
Through the chair, that's correct.
And a follow-up question to that. So that business would then be required to appear before a judge? Would that be a county judge? How would that work?
Through the chair, to speak broadly, it would likely be under the jurisdiction of the Monroe County Court.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee this evening? There being no other matters, the August 21st, 2023 meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee will be held on Monday, September 25th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.